on Route 32. So now we're focusing on that again. Hopefully, with Governor Ehrlich's leadership over the next 4 years, we'll be able to do some more things for Route 32.
Thank you. Delegate Bates.
Thank you. As to the priority of Route 32 north of Interstate 70, there's some real serious issues with traffic and accidents up there. But again, our county exec has not made it a top priority. In fact, when I saw him at NSA and we were talking about the growth of NSA and the cybersecurity, all the things our county exec's so proud of that's happening, I said that's one of the reasons we need to expand and really get working on Route 32 north of 70, because there's a lot of people coming down from Carroll County and down from Pennsylvania to work there, and we need to make sure that the roads are safe. And his response to me was, but the people out there really don't want the expansion, so I'm not real sure what his priority is at this point. Transit is a vital part of areas where there is enough density to cover it, but in some of our areas just are not designed for it. But we definitely have to improve the roads. We need to protect people's lives.
Thank you.
I'd like to respond to their remarks.
Okay.
Thank you. Got an email today from County Executive Ken Allman. We do have 32 rated now as our #1 priority. As a matter of fact, it's been our #1 priority in the county since April. And I think that's very important. And I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to discuss this, but I think it gets a little deeper than just the fact that I feel the Republicans have not been addressing 32 from Carroll County down to 70, as they should. But also, there is a concept in which there is a trust fund, a traffic trust fund. Money should go into it from gasoline tax as well as from fees. This money should be allocated to roads. Right now, it's being used for transit systems and the operating account. If we want financial responsibility to be serious with state government, this has to be restricted. The reason I'm
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other okay. What incentives can be offered to Maryland residents to have them continue to reduce their energy needs? Anybody? Delegate Miller.
Proud to say in my committee, the House Economic Matters Committee, I serve on the Public Utilities Subcommittee, and we've had a variety of bills dealing with grants and tax credits for solar, geothermal, wind. The problem is when we pass these bills, there's never enough money for the need that's out there. And I'm a big supporter of this, but as you sit in your office on a day-to-day basis, we have a line of people with great ideas out the door. And we could have a state budget triple the size of the current budget, and nobody living in Howard County because they couldn't afford the taxes. So while we have a lot of great ideas, we also have the reality that we've got to be able to pay for those ideas. So I think the grants and credits are a good start, but I also think until the economy recovers, we're not in a position to do much.
Thank you. Mr. Adams?
I'd like to use my time to finish my previous remark. I think it's extremely
There was
important.
only a rebuttal, an initial statement and a rebuttal.
Okay.
Anyone else care to speak? Ms. Marr?
Agreeing with a bit here with Delegate Miller, continuing to give those grants and tax credits to consumers that opt for alternative energies. I have been knocking on doors, and I've met quite a few people that have put solar panels on their roofs, are building geothermal infrastructure for their homes, and they have told me that because of the state credits, the county credit, and the federal credit, they were able to do these things. So continuing to do that, continuing to invest in just our green energy economy is essential, which will start bringing down the prices of all these technologies. And finally, have our government be an example of conserving energy. We saw it locally in Howard County. Our public schools decided to take an initiative to save energy and saved over $1 million in 1 year. And I think across state government we can do the same, encouraging every state agency in Maryland to conserve energy.
Mr. Weinstein?
I would like to build on my friend Mary Ann said, and that is there are opportunities to expand just from the citizenry to government and private sector. There are ideas that have been forwarded and put in place around the country that would partner private and public sector organizations to install alternative energy systems. In my neighborhood near Worthington Elementary School, they'll be installing solar panels to help power that school there in a field next door. But we need to look at a private partnership that would lease space to return power to the power grid. The government would benefit from those leases. Solar panels, wind mills would be placed on or near public grounds or public buildings, and then that revenue would go right back to the state. So ideas like this that leverage where we are on the green energy and alternative energy industry, that's some of the ideas I would bring forward in Annapolis. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Senator Kittleman.
I think we certainly need to encourage people to conserve, but frankly, you got to do it the way the marketplace would do it. People will conserve when it hits their bottom line. Businesses go out and they look for ways to be efficient because it'll cost them less for their business. We can't just force people to do it, and that's what Annapolis likes to do. Annapolis likes to say, you know, we know better than you do, you have to do this. And they force it, and it costs more money. And I want to share with you, the reason we're in the problem we're in today is because our state and our country said we didn't like nuclear 30 years ago. And now all of a sudden we've realized nuclear is the way to go. But it took us 30 years to realize that. And now we have another plant being built in Calvert-Cliffs, but it's going to take a while to do that. I sit on the Senate Finance Committee. We deal with energy issues. We were told by the governor, O'Malley's task force, that nuclear was the best way to go by far. And because we waited 30 years, we've caused our citizens a great harm, and hopefully we'll get back on track.
Thank you. All right, you now have 2 minutes as a closing statement. We will start with Ms. Marr.
Well, thank you so much to the League and the partner associations that helped put this forum together, and thank you to all of those watching at home and here. My name is Mary Ann Marr. I am honored to have this opportunity to run for state office to represent the people of District 9A. My professional background is in computer science, for which I hold a master's degree from Purdue University. I worked for almost 10 years as a network researcher for the Department of Defense and private corporations like Sprint and Microsoft. Like so many other families, my husband and I moved to District 9A looking for better schools for our children. There are many issues that compel me to run for state office: education and childhood wellness, open government, tax policy and energy policy, and the most pressing, our economy and our job market. But I am running for office for one overarching reason, and that is that I believe in good government. I believe in a government that puts the interests of everyday families above all else. I believe that the incumbents have not done a good enough job at protecting our families. When it comes to protecting our children, they voted against common sense legislation like banning lead in children's toys. There were 2 of only 4 legislators to do that. Just this year, they voted against extending a program for needy seniors to cover their prescription drugs. There were the only 2 delegates out of 141 delegates to vote this way. And when it comes to protecting Maryland's natural assets, the air that we breathe and the water that we drink, the 2 incumbents hold the worst environmental lifetime record as ranked by the Maryland League of Conservation Voters. I think we can do better than that. I hope to be part of government that creates enduring policies that protect our families, our businesses, and our economy. And I hope you will give me your trust, you will give me your support, and I ask for your vote tonight. Thank you so much.
Mr. Weinstein.
Thank you. As a small business owner, author, and a former Army officer with a history of public service, I'm a unique candidate for this office. This is my first run for public office, and unlike the incumbents, I'm not a politician or former party official. My company's headquartered right here in Howard County, right on Main Street in Ellicott City, in fact, and has over a dozen employees. So I understand firsthand the stress of creating jobs in this economy. I'm running to bring responsive and responsible representations in 9A because I have that unique and relevant experience to bring to bear, because the company that I own has focused on improving government and corporate performance for many years. I stand for better government, not bigger government. It's some people might not say that as coming from the Democratic Party, but that is clearly my intent and my experience.